Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Amber. This is Amara's Logic. Got a new video for you today. Milwaukee Bucks trades, rumors, and news. Live edition. Before we get into it, you know the spiel. Comment, like, subscribe, and share this electrifying content with the people. Y'all know we here to talk about what just happened between our Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers. We eviscerated the 76ers. This was a great performance by the Bucks defensively, offensively. Dame played well. Giannis had a slow start, ended up finishing with typical Giannis numbers. Beasley played well tonight. Pat Connaughton had his moments tonight. Lopez, as a team, we played well. We had a couple of bonehead plays in the third quarter that kind of let them into it, but we stood our ground and we played strong. I'm super proud of the Bucks these last two games, and I know there's going to be people saying, "Oh, we didn't have Embiid." I get it. We haven't had Chris Middleton for most of the season. We still finding a way to get it done. We're not making no excuses. I just think that this is the type of performances back to back the Bucks need to build their confidence. As you saw during the broadcast, they have the fifth most difficult schedule for the all teams in the NBA. So it's going to get real. So we need these type of quality wins against quality opponents to keep our momentum going and also to work out the kinks. What I like to say is I did notice more ball movement. I noticed more continuity between Dame and Giannis. I also noticed Giannis providing better screens as well. I know y'all be saying, what is he about these screens? The screen, if a screen is applied properly, it allows a person that's trying to run around the screen to get that split second of daylight he needs to shoot a three a la Dame Lillard. I really think Dame, these last two games, he played really well. Besides, I mean, I know he had kind of a poor efficiency game last game against Minnesota, but he hit the shots when it mattered most. And today he just played balanced, good, efficient basketball. That's what we want to see from the Bucks. I also noticed that the Bucks were relying more on Dame to be a facilitator. He did have 9 assists. The Bucks just played well. We're gonna have complaints. Lopez is slow, can't jump. We're gonna complain about Bobby P. Bobby P. is, hey y'all. I know a lot of people love Bobby P. I mess with Bobby P. heavily as well. But sometimes Bobby P makes some low IQ basketball decisions, and sometimes he can be a black hole. Bobby can shoot you in and out of games. Just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it 100% real. Bobby can shoot you in and out of game. But as far as the defense, hey, you know what? We was talking crazy about Malik Beasley all year and Dame about their defense. I'm not saying that they're Avery Bradley or anything like that, but Bucks Nation has to admit that they are at least fighting playing defense. These Bucks are fighting playing defense. We gotta give them that, y'all. When we go in on people, we gotta give your flowers too and salute the Bucks Nation. As you can see, it's dark where I'm at. It's about 9:47 p.m. where I'm at, so it's really the normal time that I go live to be. Salute to y'all. Hope everybody doing well. Just wanted to put that up in there. Salute the Bucks Nation. It's been a little bit. You know I miss the friends and family, so salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in early today as well. So salute to y'all. But we got to be happy about these back-to-back Bucks performances. Let's not say so-and-so was out because we've seen teams without their stars beat playoff teams. So we need to, again, as my last video said, positive vibes. And as you can see, the more positive comments, we've been playing better. Dame has been playing better. He needed that all-star game to see some shots go in like his normal shots, and he's been playing better. I still think the refs are not on our side. I also think some of these turnovers and not getting calls is a little crazy, but us complaining about it, I don't know what that's really going to do. We just got to grind, you guys. We're not going to get respect from the media. We're not going to get respect from the refs or the analysts. We just got to take what's ours, y'all. And these are steps in the right direction of taking what's ours. And what's ours is taking this 2024 NBA championship. And what we got to also remember is, yeah, I saw a comment in here just pop by my eye. It said the communication on defense is much improved. I completely agree with that. The communication in general. is much improved on this team offensively and defensively. I think that they're playing playing well. Now we got Gallinari. Hey, you guys. I see Gallinari sucks and all. Gallinari is not meant to move the needle. He's just another body that can shoot. We're not depending on Gallinari to save us. He still gives us more value than Robin Lopez. Let's be clear. As much as Gallinari sucks, he can at least be on the floor more than Robin Lopez. So let's be real. Patsy had a decent game if you look at offense. He had a couple bonehead plays, but then he had that nice block when he did the flyby pat. It actually worked one time. But all in all, we should be having positive commentary about this game. We should really be having positive commentary. I'm going to open the lines up here in a minute. Let's just get into the actual game here. Back to back. Hey, two games. Hey, 2 games back to back, and we whooped them 119-98. So yet another team you're holding under 100 points. Awesome by the Bucks. 35 points in the first quarter, 34 in the second. We let our foot off the gas in the third quarter. But what's most impressive is the fourth quarter where they were trying to come back. We held them to the lowest scoring total of the game, which is 16 points. And in today's NBA, that's impressive. I don't care if you're playing scabs or not. Holding an NBA team to under 20 points in a quarter is very impressive. And Giannis started off slow, but you would never tell by his stats. Giannis Antetokounmpo doing Groundhog Day, 30, 12, and 10. Just what he does. Jay Crowder, we do need to have a talk. I want to keep this positive, but we do need to discuss Jay Crowder's shooting. Maybe he is our PJ Tucker at this point, where he's all defense and his offense it might be shot. I'm not sure, but I know I do see the effort he brings defensively, and he does help in that fashion. He did have 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, plus 17, but he did not score in 25 minutes, so he pulled a Pat Connaughton. Giannis, after a slow start, 10 of 17, 1 of 2 from 3, 9 of 12 on the road. Let's give Giannis his props for being 9 of 12 on the road, hitting free throws. That's good. Shout out to Giannis. 12 rebounds, 9 assists, almost another triple-double. He did have 6 turnovers. Some of those were suspect. I'll say maybe 3 to 4 were legit. Giannis, 30 points plus 14. Brook Lopez, solid performance, 4 of 9, 1 of 4, 2 of 2. Seven rebounds is actually good. 3 assists. Yeah, he had 5 big blocks, plus 33, 11 points. That I do. Hey, that drive that Lopez tried to do for the 3-point line looked crazy. It looked so slow. It looked. Oh, Brook Lopez busts his heart. Brook Lopez don't got no athleticism left in his body whatsoever. Hilarious. That layup try was hilarious. Dame played 36 minutes, 8 of 15, efficient. 4 of 8 from 3, efficient. 4 of 4 from the line. I do think he should have shot more free throws than that. That's just my opinion. I do think he should have been shooting more free throws than that. 9 assists, 2 steals, 5 turnovers, and the highest plus minus on the team today, plus 37, 24 points. Beasley was balling today. We got to give Beasley his flowers. 7 of 9, 6 of 7, 20 points. Bobby P had 17 points, but some of his stuff that he was doing out there was crazy. Them blown layups. He kind of got them back in the game single-handedly in the third quarter. It's like, Bobby, you got to ride the peaks and valleys. You got to ride the highs, but you know them lows is coming. That's going to be the low basketball IQ plays. There's going to be some difficult decisions that are going to need to be made on this roster in the offseason. Even winning the title, we're still going to have to address some things on this team. I think a lot of y'all are going to bring it up in the comment section and chat too. Patrick Beverly, I kind of want you to not shoot threes no more, bro. That's not your thing. Connaughton played 22 minutes, had 7 points. He did have 5 rebounds, and still he did have 2 blocks plus 8. I mean, we played solid. I mean, we shot 54% of friends and family. Bucks Nation, 54%, 48% from 3, 83% from the line. They had no chance. They really had no chance. The only person that did anything worth mentioning on their team, Middleton had 16. Maxey had 24, but it was volume shooting, 8 of 19. He was minus 11. Only one person on their team had a positive plus minus. That was Mo Bamba. Look at that. This is what you want to see when championship defense. This is what you need to do to teams that aren't better than you. 37%, 34%. That's what you want. 10 of 11, I'm not mad. They only shot 11 free throws. I mean, we played really well today. You got this is the way you take care of these type of teams. You get rid of them early, you get on their neck, and that's what we doing. I told y'all we was gonna come out of this All-Star break balling. I don't care who the competition is. We just beating them, and that's all we should be doing. They did kill us on the offensive rebounds by a little bit, 6. And then let's see points in the paint. I always like to look at. And we had 19 turnovers. We were definitely a little reckless with the basketball today, so that was definitely a problem. And then points in the paint, we won the points in the paint. If we win the points in the paint, it's pretty much a done data for you. It's pretty much a wrap. So this is a great back-to-back win by the Milwaukee Bucks. Hey, can y'all get them likes up in the comment section? Hey, we go live almost after every game. I missed the last game for the first time in a minute. I'm over here in Europe going live for the people because that's the love I got for Bucks Nation. Can we please get them likes up, ladies and gentlemen? Salute, salute. Now let me put the link in the chat. I know y'all ready to go in on a few people. And I'm trying not to gas Dame too much because everybody already think I'm a Dame apologist, and I just be trying to keep it funky with the people. Go through some of these comments. The link to join the live is in the chat. Let me salute some people I see out here already. Let me salute some people. I appreciate y'all tapping. Let me just go through some of the people we see out here. D Cole 123, what's good? Mr. Cool, the legend, what's good? St. Lucian woman, what's good? Eliza, Dark Kent, Brandon, John Jackson, what's good? Saul Cali, my boy, Gibson Nicholas, shout out to the Bahamas. Who else up in here? Bucks number 1, I see you. Chris B, I see you. Rigo, I see you. Yeah, everybody popping up in here. Othello, what's good? Alex, what's good? Eli, what's good? Cynthia, what's good? Stacy, Mr. Priceless, BC, Pronte, what's good? Let me tap some of y'all in here. I'm going to go through some of these comments. Let me tap in a couple of folks real quick. I got to tap into Bleacher Report Boss right off the rip. Bleacher Report Boss, what it do? What's good, fam?
How you doing over the seas,
Hey,
bro? Like,
cooling. Hey, it's cooling, bro. Just hanging out, moving around, just enjoying myself, bro. It's cool. It's cool.
bro, man, we've been talking about this for the last, after the All-Star game that
Mm-hmm.
but this one performance by Dame, push him over the edge, will evolve him, and it did a little bit more, and I'm happy that game versus Minnesota really they. I mean, that was a tough game to win, but they dominated that game. And
Right,
now today,
agreed.
this type of game you always say. This type of game, you put hands and feet on them and just get rid of them.
Get
Put them
rid of
out
them,
their
right.
misery. And they did tonight. I mean, did today. And I gotta give Beasley his flowers, man. That's the one guy I have to give his flowers. He is playing so hard on defense now. It seemed like he's trying to go for those loose balls. He's trying to get something on defense. It's like he playing like he's like depend on it. He playing like
I
something like
think
he's
his
about to win.
starting position does depend on it, low key. He is playing like his starting position depends on it. I'm not gonna even hold you, bro.
Yeah, I was. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You good?
Yeah, man, my thing was tripping. I mean,
No, I can hear you.
yeah.
Good. You
So
good, bro?
cool, but man, it was so crazy today that I just felt like Giannis didn't really play that well. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I saw I just saw how the way they use their sets, they're just moving around. It constantly talking, like you said. And I love that. I think that if they keep this up, no matter who they face, I don't care what their record is. I don't care who they playing. If they play like this, they're gonna have a chance to win every game. So when everybody keeps saying, "Oh, they're playing the fourth regular schedule, or whatever," and I'm like, I don't care. It
Yeah,
doesn't
a win
matter.
is a win. A win is a win, bro. Like I'm not about to say that's the thing. We win that people complain. Oh, it's against it. Why can't we just be happy about stacking up wins and getting some positive momentum on this team?
it was like what Giannis said on the one of the games. I gave you the video. He said that we gotta stop looking at the end game so fast. We gotta worry about the journey. You know, the journey of what this team needs to go through, the steps. You
Mm,
know, you can't just go. You just can't go the climax. You know, if anything, I'm just saying. You can't just go down to the end goal without going to step one, step two, step three of what the Bucks need to do. You know, this is like a little grind. Like this team just put together a couple like a month ago. Like after they
right,
fired Griffin, you know
right,
the trades. You gotta think about that. Once, yeah, I don't think Garnett's gonna do everything great, but like think about it. Third quarter, whatever they put him get a bucket, he'll get a bucket here and there.
right,
And still,
exactly.
we don't know what he's gonna do. AJ Green, AJ. I mean, you know, all the guys. One of those guys got to be in the rotation. That's all I want. One of those guys in rotation. But I mean, by the time they finally figure it out, it'll be time playoff time, and then we don't know what's gonna happen after that. I'm like,
Right.
I just,
Keep
I mean,
talking.
I understand. Yeah, I just think that overall we need to just keep it going. They're gonna win. They got two games versus Charlotte, and then yeah, after that game versus the Bulls, oh, we're gonna get some hard hitters coming. But after that, we
Right.
need to just keep it going. Doesn't matter who it is. You gotta keep going.
But that's why I'm saying the steel gonna sharpen steel. I'm glad the Bucks schedule is this hard the second half of the season because that's gonna make us what we need to be in the playoff. Because we're gonna already be in playoff basketball form before the playoffs start because of the high level of competition teams that we're playing. They'll also be playing hard because they're playing for playoff seeding as well. So this team is really gonna be battle tested before the playoff. We just need to figure out what's our true rotation gonna be, and we also need to figure out how Chris is gonna play into this rotation. Let me tap everybody. Let me tap the rest of the guys in. Hold on 1 second. Let me
All right.
tap the rest of the
I,
guys in here. Gibson, you on there, brother? Let me
yeah,
Peace,
tap
yeah,
in,
there you
Brent.
go.
peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Daniel, Amber, and Brandon. Man, I miss you guys, man.
What
I
up?
miss
What
the
up?
guys. I miss
What
you
up?
guys.
What up?
It's been a while.
Salute
I
to the
miss you
nation.
guys.
Salute to Bucks Nation. Salute to the Bahamas. Go ahead, Gibson.
I was I was looking for the haters in the chat. I was looking for the Kendrick Perkins them who all had all that talk. All that JJ Redick them hating on Doc Rivers saying oh blah 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 all the nonsense. The media they giving Boston all the props. They say oh Boston is gonna win the title. I say okay we gonna see about that. But as long as the Bucks still standing in their way, it ain't gonna
Yeah,
be that easy for them to
it's
get
not
that
gonna be that
championship.
easy, bro. No, it's
You,
not gonna
you
be that
gotta go.
easy at all.
You gotta go. In order for Boston to get to the finals, they gotta go through the Bucks, and
But
Giannis
that's
is not
but you know what though?
going.
We got to take it one step at a time, Bucks Nation. Let's not worry about Boston right now.
Right.
We just need to handle our business and get into a flow. So right now we don't want two games in a row. We just want a good game on the road. Dame played well and Giannis played well in the same game. That's what we need to be
Hmm.
focused on and seeing more of. When they both have good, efficient games, you see what happens. And I'm telling you, even if Embiid plays, it don't matter that much because if Dame and Giannis are going to be that efficient, we are tough to beat when both of our star players are efficient. You see how it makes things crazy. If you watch the defense after Dame started hitting them first two shots, they were bringing two people at him all the time, which is how Beasley was getting those open threes. Those open threes for Beasley were not coincidence. That came from Dame hitting shots early. Now they're like, hey, we can't let him get started. So they're throwing two at him. So then you swing the ball by the third swing. It's Beasley or Lopez or somebody's open, wide open for a three. So that, just so you guys see, that is the value that Dame brings when he is playing well. That's what he can do. And that's against any team. If Dame hit two or three shots, they're sending the cavalry. They sending the cavalry. All we got to do is for the others to hit their shots. When the others are hitting their shots, we're hard to beat. Beasley was the man tonight. Maybe another night it might be Connaughton. But we need someone who is going to consistently hit those open threes to keep the defense honest. It'll be impossible to double you. If you notice, we went against the originator of the wall today, right? He couldn't present the wall today due to Dame and Beasley hitting. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. That's how
Yep.
you break
Yep.
the wall. You break the wall by
Back.
shooting and swinging the ball. And then they threw them off also if y'all wasn't like watching closely, right? Uh, Giannis was allowing Dame to initiate more of the offense, and he would get the ball on the swing and do his thing. Now you really that also broke the wall. The Bucks are starting to think a little bit. So salute to the Bucks. This was a good test for me just to see how they react to somebody trying to put a wall. That's for these high IQ basketball coaches. Now they see how to break it. But the thing is, we just need consistent outside shooting, y'all. I'm sorry I was a little long
Five.
winded. My bad. Go ahead, Gibson. I'm gonna have my boy Brandon tap
Uh,
in, then spin the block to the Bleacher Report. Boss. Go
eh,
ahead, Gibson.
all right. All right, let's give Dame his flowers because he was very impressive in the Minnesota game. I watched that game, man. That game was like a playoff game. That was crazy. That was
right,
crazy.
right,
It was a
right.
crazy game, man. I'm so proud of the Bucks right now. I'm so proud that we get Doc Rivers, even all the critics, all the critique with everybody saying about him. Doc got this team in order. He got control of the locker room. He got them in order. He got
That's
them
a fact.
playing good.
That's a fact.
He got he got them in order, Amber. Man, I appreciate it. I love how they playing today. They play good well. Now that's what you call a statement win against Philadelphia. Now I would like to
Talk
say
to
this on
him.
the air.
Talk to him.
Kendrick Perkins, we get Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith and JJ Redick. They owe this team a very national apology. We want to see it. They make this apology live on national television. Apologize to this team. They was disrespecting so much. They need to
Mm-hmm.
uphold this team and apologize to them. We need that a national apology from them.
He said a
That's all we
national
got to
apology.
do.
It's hilarious.
National
We need that.
apology.
We need a national apology.
I'll respond to that. Why they ain't gonna do it, but I'll tell you after Brandon's done. Go ahead, Brandon.
Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead. What up? What up? What up? How you doing, Brandon? How you feeling?
Feeling good. Hey, I got to be positive. In like the way this team playing, we are to be. Because, like I said, that, like I said in the chat, Dame and Young connection it's still going. Because,
Yep.
like I
Yep.
said,
I agree. What up, Cynthia? No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
it's defense.
I just think the communication, Brandon, like, would y'all all admit, like, since Doc has come, and I know he had a rough start, right? But even during those losses, you could see steps of improvement defensively. I know our offense looked a little sketch at times, but I think he didn't have time to really institute what he wanted. But just the communication and how they're holding each other accountable is way different than grip.
Right.
Just at that alone, that is what a seasoned coach can do to your team. He can settle them down.
Yep.
Now you can see people have their roles and an identity. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead, Brandon. I'm gonna let you tap in there, Daniel, and then I'm gonna tap y'all in the green room in a minute. Go ahead, Brandon.
Also, also, give another flower too. Okay?
Okay.
Back, my backpack. Number one. Beat Dame, Young, and Brooke.
Okay.
Because we, we've been, okay, we've been, I'm beaten from the start to start.
Uh huh.
Now, as we seeing it, I think Beasley got that starting spot. It's like depends on it.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Once
That's
Chris
a
come back, once Chris come back, I think Chris needs to come off the bench on point.
we gotta be careful with this Middleton off the bench. It's hard for somebody you paying 30 million to come off the bench, bro.
I know.
I know what y'all saying, and in reality, it's logical, Bucks Nation. I see all y'all saying that, but financially, how do you tell leadership? Yeah, he coming off the bench, but making 30 mil is gonna look crazy. He should, but I just don't know because of his pay if you could actually do that. I just don't know. But I agree with you that I think he'd be better suited because he can get his money on that second team. and he like running the offense for whatever reason. He think he Chris Paul, but it is what it is. He
Good
think
one.
he think
Good
he
one,
Chris
Amara.
he think he Chris Paul. So it is what it is. Hey, Brett, if you don't mind, can you tap back in a minute? Let me just tap in a couple of these people. They'll just spin the block in a couple minutes.
I got you.
You
All
want
right,
me to tap out
all
you?
right. No, not
You want me
yet,
to,
not
you want
yet,
me to tap
not
out?
yet, not yet.
All
I got y'all. Hold on one second. You just got in here. Go ahead, Daniel. I'm tapping Prime Time in here real quick.
Yeah, I really wanted to get off my chest is, with
Mhm.
what you were saying, Gibson. They they don't. We said this 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. I remember Ponte, you
right.
said this. I remember you here. Remember when they said that you said that they didn't want us to go get going, and it's already starting. It's already starting. They trying to figure out, well, oh shoot, they're getting this stuff together. They just realized they're trying to now they trying to butter us up now. They're like, yeah, Giannis and Dame, blah blah blah. After that win versus Minnesota, they all like, it should have been winning like this. They should have been. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. You got talking all that stuff.
They see the
Like,
train. They see the choo choo train that started going and got some momentum. That's it. That's it.
So,
so
Hmm. What up,
they're not gonna
Fronte?
apologize.
Can you hear us? I just want to make sure you can
What up,
hear us,
y'all?
Dave.
What
Okay.
up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Well, all right, cool, cool.
we already
Finish
got
your
this
statement. I just want to make
PhD.
sure we can hear you, Pronte, because I don't got my regular setup.
Can you hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you all good. You all good. I just wanted to make sure. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick before Project go. Um, we coming, and I just think that with now once you're figuring out, because like after, I got a little mad with Doc talking about, well, I don't know, I didn't know what I was doing. I just got the team. I was like, be quiet and just do the job,
Hmm.
bro. Like you said yes, you took the job. Don't act like now it's gonna be hard for you. You took the job. Be quiet, shut up, and do what you gotta do.
Right. Bite down.
But but other than that. Yeah, you said put your pants up and start and get to work. So
Get
other
to
than
work.
that,
That's it. Hmm.
yeah, get to work. Other than that, they're coming. Did we beat Minnesota handedly with all their starters? Like you want
Right.
to see how good we're getting? We put hands and feet on Minnesota. They
And we
ain't know what
whooped
to
the team
do.
tonight, and we whooped the team. I said tonight, today, like we should be whooping teams that are undermanned. This is what should happen
Exactly.
against an undermanned team. This shouldn't be surprising. We should clamp down on defense like we did and blow them out. Any NBA team is gonna have a run, but the end result should be a blowout. Period.
Yeah,
And I'm just glad
I
we
think
were
that.
able to, to get it going. But go ahead, Pronte, man. Appreciate you tapping in, bro. Go ahead and Chitty, I'm gonna tap you in a minute, bro. I see you. Go
I mean,
ahead,
the
Pronte. You
Bucks
said
are
what?
looking like the team.
Okay. Appreciate you, Dale. Bleach Report boss, go tap out and let you tap in, Chitty. All right, appreciate you. Go ahead, Pronte. What up, Chitty?
What up, Chitty? What up, Daniel? What up, Gibson?
Hey,
What up, Amara?
What
What
up,
up?
It's
What up?
my
dark
What
out
up?
people,
there.
the
Huh?
my brother from Africa?
my
My
people.
brother from Africa.
Yeah, it's 9, it's
Front,
10,
front,
12
how you
p.m. here.
doing?
What up, Chitty? Yeah, it's 10
Chitty
o'clock where I'm
smiles,
at.
man.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
No, the Bucks look like the team we expected to see at the beginning of the season. I think Docton did his work. Doc is doing his work, man. He putting some things in order, and you can see him getting better every game. And you can kind of see what they working on every game. I think he wanted to focus on the defense, and you can see the defense kind of getting better every single game. And now it seems like this time he's going to focus on the
Appreciate the
offense.
sub.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, he's going to focus on getting the offense right because I know they said in the game that he asked Giannis where you like the ball. Where you like the ball. So when we talk about Chris Middleton, guess what he's going to tell Chris Middleton? Where you want the ball at? Where's your shots at? Where you going to get your shots from? So things are not just haphazard and whatever goes. He's going to make sure that people get shots and are comfortable in the offense and things are a little predictable for the team. You know, so I expect to see the offense start to explode. And for those who think we don't need Middleton, that's fool's gold. I
Right,
mean, we
I
beat the
agree.
Embiid-less 76ers. No, not taking away from the Bucks, but we did what we were supposed to do. But in the playoffs, when we got to beat the Celtics and possibly
We
Embiid
need
come back,
Middleton.
we're gonna need that offense. Because can you really trust Bobby Portis to be consistent in a seven
I
game
knew that
series?
was coming. I knew this was
You know what I
coming.
mean?
Go
Like,
ahead.
it ain't knock to Bobby. He's just a role player. So if he give you 2 good games, he did his job.
That's
You
a
know what I mean?
fact.
So but you need that third option because they're gonna try to take away Dame or Giannis, and you need
Hmm.
Middleton to step up and give you 20, 30 and break the game open. So the Bucks are looking good to me. They finally look like a contender because that defense is looking solid.
Solid.
Doesn't look
Yeah.
like it don't look like they running around everywhere, getting beat up off the ball. Like I said, credit to Dame, credit to Beasley. They look good on defense. Dame is really playing hard on defense.
He playing
He's really
hard. Yeah,
playing.
I agree.
Even Pat Connaughton had a good game. Pat Connaughton had a good game. I was like, who is this guy? I'm looking like, so Doc is doing some things in there. We got to give Doc credit because the media tried to slam him.
Right.
They really try to come for him and Giannis a lot. But
Oh
I think
man, like
they're
that's
gonna
crazy.
regret that in the end because they're gonna have to announce the Bucks as the champions at the end, and then they're gonna act like they predicted the whole way
That's
through.
exactly what's gonna happen. That last
But
statement, they go about. We already knew what they were gonna do. We just expected more for them early in the season. Everyone knew the Bucks were the favorite after the trade. I already know
I
what's
picked
gonna
them
happen. I
first.
already know what's
I
gonna
picked them
happen.
to win. You know what I mean? Dame Giannis pick and roll, blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. But Dame is more efficient.
Hmm.
He's getting more efficient. He is starting to have the ball a little bit more.
Hmm.
You know, in situations that's more effective for him. And so is Giannis. They playing off of Giannis. They playing smart on offense. Like they know Giannis. Giannis know he gonna get a double team in the post. So Giannis ain't even trying to. He just wait for the double team to come and then passing out of it. And they know it's coming. So they got players. So I mean, the credit to Doc. He know what he doing. And with that, I'm gonna pass to Chitty. Go ahead, Chitty.
Hey, Fronte, my man, thank you very much. Your takes
Good.
are solid, and I enjoy it. Amara, this your holiday is making you shine so much. You are the chairman. Thank you for what you do.
Appreciate you.
Um, yeah, thank you. So I would say this, right? The Milwaukee Bucks are back. And I'm glad because for the very first time we've got a great coach in Doc Rivers. And I can tell you something, right? That Milwaukee Bucks has not experienced a great coach before, like an experienced coach before. From the days of what's his name, from the Mavericks coach that we
Jason
fired
Kidd.
to Jason Kidd, to Budenholzer, to what's his name, to the Griffin guy.
Griffin.
You could see that we've not had experienced coach before. Doc Rivers is kind of like the very first, and you can see the difference between what Doc Rivers is doing currently in just the 12 games sample size we've played now, 11 game sample size we've played now. He has really made our role players understand how to really move the ball in the opponent's post. He has made us understand that you understand if Giannis is getting it going and people are actually trying to build a wall, that wall cannot exist again. So Miami Heat cannot really beat us in the playoffs because today's game showed me that once you build that wall, Giannis can pass it out, and his teammates, the role players now, it kind of like Doc has brought out the best in them because I can see Pat actually driving into the paint and passing to Giannis,
Talk.
or driving into the paint and passing to Brook, driving into the paint, passing to them. Like I'm seeing, like I'm not seeing role players just standing around the paint and waiting for the ball to come to them, and then they just throw any kind of 3-point shot and hope that it enters the basket. I see now intentional plays in the offense. I see creative plays in the offense. I see Giannis not being triple team because it's not just double team this time around. They triple team him always, but currently it's not that way. What happens is players understand that if you build a wall against Giannis, he will pass to the role players. And when he passes to the role players will drive into the paint. And when they drive into the paint, they can make shots themselves, or they can pass out, and then you have them that can make the 3-point shot. Like, this is Milwaukee Bucks. This is a new era. Like the way Golden State Warriors was in the 2010s, that's how the Milwaukee Bucks currently is in the 2020s now. I think this is the new era. This is what we wanted. Coach Doc was the person we needed because you could see there is a great difference between Doc Rivers and Griffin, Angel Griffin that we
This
fired.
night and
That's a
day.
great
Yeah.
defense because because he started with our defense. He understood that we need to get the defense right. He started with the defense. So the first 10 game sample size we had, the defense was what he was working on, and we could see it because he improved. But then, if you look at the Minnesota game, which was the one we had yesterday, and today's game against the Sixers, you could see that he has started working on our offense. Our offense is looking lethal now. It's looking great. And Amara, take it up from here.
I just think this was just an impressive all around performance by the
Yeah.
Bucks and beating the type of we needed to beat them like this on the road. We needed this just to keep the momentum going. We got the fifth hardest schedule in the NBA going this year, and we need to get our stuff together before we start really getting more of that meat of the schedule. And what I'm seeing now, regardless of what happens, you're gonna have some ups and downs. But what I'm seeing right now that I like is just on the surface level is just the communication on this team. The communication on this Bucks team is great right now. You see it on the bench, you see it on the floor. You can see like you said earlier, and I think Prante said it as well, and even Gibson. I feel like Doc on the plainest of levels has galvanized that locker room, and they believe, and they have a goal, they have an idea, they know what they're trying to do now. They have something they're trying to implement, and you can tell that the players are buying in. And somebody might have said it before. It might have been Pronte or Gibson, where we were saying like we felt like the players weren't buying into what Griffin was talking about, and they wanted to do it their own way. And I think that was part of the reason we look so discombobulated. And in just a matter of weeks, we look like a completely different team. And some of that is due to the players buying into what Doc is saying and respecting him as a coach that had a championship. Like I said, I don't want nobody losing their job, but the Bucks needed a veteran coach for this type of team and what they're trying to accomplish. This is not the type of team where you throw in a first year coach. You throwing him in a deep end of the pool with no training, no nothing, and expecting him to swim. It it was bound to happen. But I am happy that Doc is in position. Also, we got to figure out what's with Bobby sometime. Bobby be like losing his mind sometime. I swear Bobby be pulling like he got the full green light. I'll see that man. I'll know if he take, like I said, it's a two dribble max. If Bobby P dribble it 2 times, you are not seeing that ball ever again, bro. Like it's over. Bobby P be pulling. He be pulling like he Ed Edwards. Like he got the ultimate green light. And there's a problem too. This is off the topic a little bit. There's a problem with Bucks players not finishing at the hoop by dunking the basketball. I don't know why you were giving all this hype to just put layups and trick layups. Why are you not dunking the basketball? And I'm throwing shots at you, Bobby P. You like 6'10" and you laying it up and trying to dunk the basketball. That's why I miss
Remember,
Sean Kemp. Man, go ahead, Pronte.
remember, give Bobby some credit because you notice on them fast breaks, what do? He pulled that ball out. He
But
didn't
he
even
did
try.
do that. He did do
He
that.
learning. He learning because I mean, normally he'd be going full speed and tricking
It
layups.
was me. I'll give you that.
I
I'll
know
give you that.
Giannis got
He
dropped a
said,
dime to him, and he just tricked that one. I
trick
was like,
that
what is
one.
all right? He made that was a beautiful pass. Giannis gave him. He just I don't know what happened, but the growth is real, man. I think the Bucks need the Bucks. Like Bobby said, he was mic'd up. Said the Bucks are
Mm,
starting to look like the Bucks again, and
mm.
that tells you about the buy-in that they having. That the
Yep.
players having and what they doing. They saying they starting to feel real comfortable. They starting to recognize that they really got a chance to win this whole thing because they know they go out there and they know what they're doing. They know what they got to
Right.
do. They know what their mission is, and they just get it done. I mean, Brook Lopez and Giannis played some excellent defense today.
Ooh.
They protected that
Lopez,
rim like
5 blocks. Five
I
blocks.
mean, how many times did Oubre try to dunk on him? Like 3 or 4. He blocked all of them.
All of
All of them.
them. Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. So I mean, they played some great defense all around. The whole team looked like a defensive machine, and they starting
But
to look real good. I mean, don't discount. I mean, that game against the Timberwolves was like Gibson said, that was a playoff atmosphere, and the Bucks went in there and they just took
Yep.
that. They dominated that game.
they
They
did. The
dominated that.
score ain't
Mm-hmm.
indicative of how that game went. The score ain't indicative of how that
I
game
think
went.
like, when you think about the Bucks this year, they have beat all the top teams in the league, all of them. in some cases they embarrassed them when they played them. So the Bucks have what it takes to beat any team and beat them bad. It's just when we were before they were so inconsistent that they
Mm-hmm.
do it and they look real bad, and then they do it and they look real bad. They beat Boston by like 70, and then lose to
Right.
like. So now I think Giannis said it. It's like it don't matter if we beat Minnesota. Now can we do it the next couple games against teams we know we
Mm-hmm.
better than? That means he was admitting that we were playing down to our opponents. Can we be
Mm.
consistent? Can we carry this over from game to game to game and bring it every game? Because that's what champions do, especially in the end of the year. That's what you want to
Facts.
see. So you don't want to see them to go out and get beat by Charlotte in back to back games. Then you back to where it started again. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna speak that into existence, but you know what I
Right.
mean. That's what the Bucks been doing this year, is losing to teams they should blow out, and not blowing them teams out. So, but they've been stepping up when they play a Boston, when they play a Philly, when they play a Nuggets, even when they lost to the Suns. They shouldn't even been in that game, and they was in that game most of the game. So, my thing is like they there. They just once they get healthy, once Milton comes back and Doc fits them in the piece of the
Facts, Mr.
puzzle
Cole.
the way he should
Mm-hmm.
be fitted in, they gonna be dangerous on offense. That offense is gonna pick up. Middleton's a guaranteed 15 points, 10 to 15 points a game.
Facts.
He-
Facts. And that's
Guaranteed.
all we need from him. And that's all we
I'm a
need for Middleton is about 10 or we're paying an exorbitant amount of money for them 10 to 15 points. But that's all we need for him to be consistent. And we also got to talk about the bench. When the bench is playing just solid, can we get 30 points from the bench? We're almost unstoppable with 30 points from the bench plus. We're almost unstoppable. Because that
Hey,
means, you know what I'm
hey, hey,
saying? That means, go ahead, Gibson.
I not cutting you off, right?
Go
Salute
ahead,
to
go ahead.
Chitty, my guy. I haven't seen you for a little while, Chitty. So I would like for the Bucks to, when we play Boston again, I want, because for what Daniel Gallinari said, he have that date circle on his calendar to play against Boston. Now, when
Mm.
we play Boston, we don't need the media coverage to turn that off when we beating them by another 30 again. We don't need that to be cut off. We want it
You got to think
live
that's a
on
personal
national
game though too
television.
for Doc Rivers though too, Gibson. It's a personal game for Doc
Yeah,
Rivers too. Don't sleep. Mm-hmm.
right. And not only that,
For
but
sure.
we want when the Bucks beat Boston again by another 30, and we want the media not to turn it off and don't switch it. Stay right on that. Stay on that because you're always pulling for the best team in the NBA. They are the best team. Don't turn it off when they get beat by another 40 again. And then we want them to talk about it. Don't talk about the Lakers. That ain't what important. What is important is the Bucks is what is important. Talk about that
Mm.
beating people on Boston. They will refuse to do that. You see that one more thing, guys. You see for the Bucks to host an all-star game, they say we ain't fit the requirements for the whole all-star. That's nonsense.
Mm-hmm. I
That's
knew that would happen though.
that's nonsense. That's nonsense. It's like they have a problem against us. We can't even host an all-star game. The Bucks put in a bid to host an all-star game. They ain't want to give us that, but they give it to Indiana, who didn't meet
Right.
the requirement, but they hold it.
The,
Why the Bucks can't hold an all-star game?
Indiana's a
It's something
cesspool.
against this team. It's something against this team, man. But I don't know what it is. They just don't like us. I don't know what
Indiana
they
ruined it,
playing
man.
hard for
Go
us
ahead,
not to win.
Pronte.
But
Indiana ruined it, man. Have you been to Indiana? No disrespect, but
I'll
Indiana
disrespect
ain't
this.
where it's at. I'm gonna tell you that. So I know why they was mad.
Right.
I know why they was mad. Like
Right.
not Indiana.
So,
So Indiana, they
so
compare Milwaukee to Indiana.
Prante, I wanted to say this. Prante, I wanted to say this, right? I think one of the things that we're beginning to see is the fact that a
my
Chris
room, man. I only
Middleton
lie.
might perform better with this Doc Rivers current lineup and coaching style. And why do I say
Mm.
so? I saw some things. I'm kind of like a guy who just work with data. So I saw something during the 2021 won the championship. I noticed Middleton was contributing, especially at that Eastern Conference Finals where we won against the Atlanta Hawks. I saw the way Middleton was contributing, and I understood that Middleton had some of those tendencies because we saw a bit of those highlights during the Griffin's time. But because Griffin was not putting these players in the right position, really, coaching is not just all about knowing the formation you need to play and what to do. Coaching is also about understanding the right words to give to the players and knowing what to really say to these players to get them motivated or to get them into whatever condition you're trying to get them into. I noticed that what's his name, Middleton was actually playing his topmost best at those flashes of time that he was playing for Griffin. But during this talk time, as I now see how Middleton could actually really perform for us as a box as a box team. And what's that? I think one of the things we are really lacking is when it comes to the offensive point where we're kind of like stuck in the opponent's paint. I think Middleton is that kind of person who could give us jumpers, make jumpers for us that will open up the defense, or easily pass to the players that can easily put it in the basket. That's like the alley oop to Giannis, like the kind of passes he does where he does like he wants to shoot the ball, but he passes it out. All those little bits and pieces of Middleton, I think would take our offense to the next level. And I see, I see something with that. Can you guys hear me well?
Yeah, we do. So I got a question for all you. I'm gonna ask you first. So, do you want Middleton to come off of the bench, or do you want Middleton to start? You first, Chitty, then Gibson, and then Pronte.
I want Middleton to come off the bench.
Mhm.
And why do I want him to come off the bench? I feel that Middleton needs to get into the rhythm with this team. He has not practiced with this team since the 10 games of the Rivers. He hasn't practiced with the team since the 10 games of the Rivers. So what I think he should do is not to bring him in as a starter first. That would
I agree.
really throw off the chemistry of this team currently.
Agreed.
I think him starting with that second unit with Gallinari, just the way Gallinari came in, we traded for him and he came in and he started with the second unit. We need to see Middleton from that second unit or from the bench. And what that will simply do is we will now get to understand where he fits properly. I will understand the timing. Whether do we bring him in the first quarter, 5 minutes after first quarter, or do we bring him in the second quarter and he plays all of second quarter? I don't want to see Middleton because he's a 30 plus million player and he used to be in our first team to just come off injury and immediately start with the players. It will throw off the
That's
chemistry.
fair.
That is
That's
something that
fair.
they are building currently, and I love what they are building. So I will bring Middleton. I will bring
Off the
Middleton
bench.
off the bench and not start
Okay,
him
then Gibson.
after this
Gibson.
injury.
I
I knew. You know
I
what? I knew
told
he was gonna leave a parting shot. I knew he was gonna leave a parting shot. Go ahead. Go ahead,
uh,
Gibson. This man, shitty.
I totally agree with what Chitty said. Let's bring him off the bench and then we feed
Okay.
him into the lineup slowly for surely because he just coming off an injury, so we don't want to rush him back into the lineup. Just let him get in his groove slowly for surely. Then we ease him into the lineup. That's all I would like to say. Go ahead, Pronte.
Go ahead, Gibson. My man, Gibson.
Man, look, I don't know. I'm starting. I'm gonna just say this. Who would you rather Giannis pass out to, Jay Crowder or Chris Middleton when he drives?
Mm.
I mean, depending. I mean, who would you rather in the playoffs? We're talking about the playoffs, y'all. Who would you trust to make that 3 point in the corner? All right, so or make or pump fake and dribble and still score. Who would you trust? You gonna trust Jay Crowder with that?
Actually,
I
Conte,
mean,
Actually,
wait.
Pronte, I would rather Jake Crowder gives me what he's giving me currently on defense
My
than
point is
what
he
I
needs
don't know
that
what
from Middleton.
Middleton
It
will
would
give
be the
me in
same.
defense.
It'll be exactly the same. That might not be the case with Chris Middleton. Like it's not like Jay Crowder's playing. Jay Crowder's not playing much better D than Chris Middleton. I think that's a false narrative. You know what I mean?
No, with what
He's
with what I've
playing
seen now,
slightly
no, with
better
what I've seen now,
defense.
especially
One
this
second,
game.
Chitty. Let him finish, and I'm gonna let you
Okay.
retort. Go ahead, Pronte.
I'm just saying he's playing slightly better defense. Not, and that's debatable. On some games, that's really debatable. I'm just saying Chris Middleton conditioning is the issue, not his basketball IQ. Because Middleton has high basketball IQ. It on the defense and offensive end. Every coach that works with him says that he's one of the smartest players I ever coached.
Okay.
So his basketball IQ in that lineup just blows the lineup up. Now, do you stagger his minutes? Yeah, but who would you rather start the game out and expect an offensive explosion with? Chris J. Crowder or Chris Middleton? It's going to be 100% Chris Middleton. Now, you know, can he play defense? The thing is Chris Middleton in enough shape to play good defense? That's all it's about. You know, because we know he's going to be better offensively. We know that. So if he can play slightly worse defense than Jay Crowder, which really isn't that hard, you got to start Chris Middleton. It's a no-brainer for me. So I'm going to go with Chris Middleton. Go ahead, Chitty.
Well, Conte, I respect your takes, but this one I have to respectfully disagree because I think that the pace we're using to start games currently now has drastically improved. I might be wrong. It might be coaching currently that has made it improve. But I think that bringing Middleton into the lineup with what we are building currently would slow down the pace because he has not, you know what it means by practicing with a team. He has not practiced with this team. The last game against Minnesota, he just showed up in the practice. He didn't practice with them. So if Middleton says, "Oh, because the team is playing well, I'm ready to play," because I feel that it's kind of like it has been like a format where Milwaukee Bucks is playing so well, or they're heading towards like last season, we're heading towards the playoffs. We are already qualified. We are the first team that qualified in the playoffs, and then Middleton was back again to play with us. And before the playoffs, he kind of like threw off the chemistry a bit. I would rather prefer that a Middleton coming off injury is not only just getting his body right or conditioning right, he's also getting his mentality also right. So you don't have to quit on the team when the team is not doing great. Why is it that every time we always want to rely on Middleton, we cannot rely on Middleton? He comes up with an injury or another. So again, I don't think it's just about the injury. It's about the mentality currently. And you don't come back to the team when the team is playing great, and then when you now come back, the team is no more playing great. You now quit on the team. Like his mentality is not strong. Let's just be honest. He comes up with flimsy excuses of injury. We've forgotten that Dame had the same injury that Middleton had. It's still the same ankle. And Dame played after 2 games. Middleton has been out for almost 2 weeks. Like we can't be doing this with Middleton. No, we can't be doing this. I'm trying to be as positive as possible. I don't want to, as much as possible, attack Middleton because I don't want to attack some players today. I promise myself that Bucks is playing well. I don't want to, but we have to say the truth. Middleton has not the times when we want to trust Middleton so that we can actually get off the hump or get off whatever disunity we have on the team. Middleton always fumbles. He always comes back to say he's injured.
He said he
The
comes
games
back
where
to say
the
he's
games where
injured.
look at the Suns game. Look at the Suns game. Look at that game. We really needed Middleton in that game. But Middleton left Giannis in that game. He left Giannis on that game.
Look at
And
the
so
Suns
what do
game.
we do? Like that? There should be consequences. There should be consequences towards decisions like that or actions like that. There should be consequences to actions like that. When we really need you, you don't show up. When the team is not playing great, you not show up. Nah, you are not doing that. He has to come in through the bench. He has to come in through the second unit, and he has to prove himself that he needs to play in the first unit so that we don't throw off the chemistry. There has to be that they are showing example to the rest of the guys that he cannot do this, and this is not the right example to play. Let's just be factual.
I hear you.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
let
say
you
this. I'm
retort. Go ahead. I see you in
gonna
the
say
green
this.
room too, Cal. I'll tap you in. Go ahead, Pronte.
I'm gonna say this. Middleton has not thrown off the chemistry. Middleton has not been a negative when he came back ever. Never. I haven't seen it. He might go down and get injured, But if he's healthy, if he plays, he's not throwing off the chemistry. I don't know, no way, no how. You know who threw off the chemistry? Adrian Griffin. That was it. It wasn't Chris Middleton. It wasn't Chris Middleton. That's cool gold, man. Like, what are you
Man,
talking about?
that was a cold
Middleton was
one.
not playing
That's a
bad when he
cold
went
one.
on. Middleton wasn't playing bad in the Phoenix Suns game.
No,
He was the only one producing. So what are we
no,
talking? He didn't play bad
no,
against the Nuggets. He was heating the Nuggets up. So what are you
no,
talking? What are you talking about?
no,
When typically this is what happens with Middleton. When everybody else is not playing good,
no.
guess who steps up? Middleton.
Middleton, he does do
That's
that.
the
I'll give
bottom
you
line.
that.
And yeah, he fumbled. But
Middleton,
how many times Giannis turned the ball?
Middleton.
Titty, how many times did Giannis turn the ball over today? 7. How many times did Dame turn the ball over? Almost 7 too.
All
So
right.
is it just Middleton's the
Do
only
you,
one
do
turning
you
the
know
ball
what?
over?
Do you know what? I will take.
You can't blame
Okay,
Middleton for
I will take Giannis.
against
I will take
Miami.
Giannis turnover.
Did Middleton lose?
I will take Giannis turnover any day, anytime than a Military turnover. Military turnover is always the game. Is always the game
Look,
changer.
I'm gonna say
If
this. I'm
we
gonna
are
say
winning
this.
games and Military turnovers the ball,
I know
it's
you don't
always
win
the
a
critical
championship
moment when we
with
lose that
Jay
game.
Crowder.
Look,
You don't win a championship with Jay Crowder starting. You not gonna win it. Jay Crowder is slower than Middleton. What are you talking about? Like Jay Crowder's not fast. Did you just see him? He can barely get off the ground too. Like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, no. Chris Middleton is
okay,
way better than Jay
did you just
Crowder.
say,
How can you not see that?
Hold on.
How can you not see
I
that? That's
think
crazy.
Middleton. I'm a
There
cut
we
in
go
between
again.
here for a minute. I think Middleton should start once he gets his legs back because he does give us another weapon. I don't think he should be permanently off the bench, but I think he should start slowly getting himself back together coming off of the bench. I think that would be best suited
exactly.
for it to get his legs back. I think to get his legs back, he definitely needs to do that. I got my man Kale. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna bring you in here in 1 second, bro. Hold on 1 second. All right, you gonna tap
Conte,
you
I
gonna
can
tap
tap
out
with him.
Ponte?
I'll tell about
I can
Okay,
tap
I'll
with
hit
him.
you back in a minute. Okay,
Smith's trying to get
appreciate you.
in too. Mr. Smith's
All
trying to
right,
get in too. Put the
okay,
link in the
got you.
chat.
I'm gonna tap me out. Tap me
Okay,
out.
hold on 1 second. Let me get Kale in here. Hey, Mr. Smith. Hey, what up, Kale? Let me hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me put the link
Yo,
back in the chat so Mr. Smith can tap in. Hold on, I'm putting it back in the chat.
let
My
me.
man Kale, it's been a
I'm
minute,
biking
brother.
top with you.
Yeah,
Oh no,
man.
not yet.
I'm
You
biking
good?
How
You
top
good?
with
y'all
You
you.
good?
doing?
Top with Mr.
Oh,
Top
no,
with
he ain't tapping
not
yet.
yet.
But soon he tap in, I'll let you know. Yep. I put the link in the chat, Mr.
Oh,
Smith. But hey, my man Kale, it's been a minute, bro. What's good? Tell us how you feeling, bro. What you feel about these last couple games?
Man, I'm feeling good about these last couple of games, man. I've been seeing the improvement that Doc's been making with the team defensively, offensively is getting there. But while you and Gibson still right here on the chat, because it's been a minute since I've been up here. But I gotta ask y'all a question, man. Gibson and Am, I gotta ask y'all a question.
Uh-huh.
Because when I sat up there, that chat all them weeks ago. And I said, yo, how y'all feel about potentially Doc Rivers? Y'all did not want that man. Y'all go, no, keep him away, all that good
right,
stuff,
right.
man. And now y'all singing
You're
the
right.
praises of Doc
You
Rivers.
right. Hey, we
Y'all
see the
singing the
light.
praises of that man now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
but
He's like, yeah,
but
but
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right, man.
yeah,
Hey, Mr. Smith, I'm gonna
but
tap you in 1 second. Hey, Gibson, let me let you tap out, and then I'm gonna tap in Mr. Smith. But can you
All
give
right,
us the
then.
battle cry before we leave? Can you give us the battle cry, sir?
Peace and love. Peace and love. Let's continue to move forward, Bucks Nation. Peace out. Peace and love.
I appreciate you.
Peace and love.
All right, we're gonna tap in Mr. Smith here. All right, Gibson. Shout out to the Bahamas and shout out to Tehran as well out there and the rest of the cast for the Bahamas. Mr. Smith, what up? What up? What up?
Going on? Going on?
Hey,
What's
we
going
got
on, man?
Chitty on the
Been a
panel.
minute.
We got Kale on the panel. We got the legend, Mr. Smith. It's about to crack you. I'm about to just sit back and let him cook. Go ahead, Mr. Smith first, then Kale,
I
then
say
Chitty. Go ahead, sir. Mm-hmm.
salute to everybody on the panel for sure. Salute to everybody in the chat. Didn't get an opportunity to chat with Ponte. A couple of times that I've caught like little snippets because my time is
All
I
right.
don't always have the time for this, but I always love his commentary.
Shout out to Pronte.
I like what I'm seeing for the last couple of games, right? The last time I was on, I think it was right on the heels of us beating Denver, and they just couldn't let me just live in that moment, right? They just couldn't let me do it, right? We play Memphis. I was about to run through closed doors, man. I was hot. I was hot. You guys did not want me on the chat after that game, right? But what I like about this is that I like what we're doing on defense. I do. And right now it's just building. I think they threw up a stat that 3 of the last 5 games we held teams under 100 points. In today's NBA, I'm loving
Impressive.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving that. So the question was, do we think that Chris Middleton should be starting, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was what I was hearing. Can I offer a different perspective?
Yes.
I don't know that sending Chris, and I'm not saying that we send Chris Middleton to the bench. I'm undecided at this point. But the reason why I think it's debatable is not because I think Chris Middleton is a poor player. I think he's obviously one of the 5 best players that we have, right? He's our best small forward. But I look at the San Antonio model when they had Ginobili coming off the bench, right? We don't have a lot of guaranteed scoring when you go to the bench. Now, these things can be figured out when you stagger lineups, right? But it's less figuring out you have to do when you have a guaranteed scorer coming off the bench, right? So I don't want to look at the cons of Chris Middleton because I agree with everything that Pronte said. There are times when everyone else is screwing up, and Chris Middleton is the one that's kind of keeping us afloat. Just this season, there would be times under the previous coach where we would go on like these mental walkabouts, right? And he would be the one to keep the lead, whatever lead that we'd created, just keep it out of reach in those games that we won, right? So he would kind of keep the boat from
That's fair.
sinking, right? I think that's an important thing, but look at what it is I just described. He's keeping the lead away from the other team, the one that we established, right? I think that may be, and I'm not saying that I would do it, but that may be best off the bench because that's typically when our leads disappear, right? You're
Right.
not going to get a lot of guaranteed scoring out of a set play with a lot of these guys who can't create shots for themselves. A lot of the guys coming off the bench are you have to scheme them open because they just don't do a lot on their own. And sometimes your scheme works, sometimes you don't, right? The other team
Mm-hmm.
has a defense they get paid to play as well, right? And so sometimes people are going to break that up. But what happens when our scheme doesn't work? You need people who can create for themselves, right? Pat Connaughton is not going to create for himself, with all due respect, right? Neither is Pat Beverly. Neither
Right.
is Danilo Gallinari that we just got. Neither. Who else is coming off of our bench, right? Neither is Jay Crowder. None of these guys are going to create for themselves. The only one who does it is Bobby Portis, which is why he gets the ball and can. When it looks good, when he's hitting shots, it looks good. When it's not, he looks like a black hole, right? Because he gets the ball and doesn't look at anyone else. But that's by mandate because no one else is scoring. So he has to do that. It's not that he's a selfish player, it's that no one else is scoring. You put Chris Middleton to the bench. Again, I'm not advocating for this. I'm just saying there's strategy to this. You put him to the bench, you even out or you balance your team out more. I'm less concerned with who starts the game than who finishes the game.
Finishes it. Yeah,
Smith
that's true.
Middleton is absolutely going to close the game. But in those lulls in the game, those stretches where Giannis has to go to the bench either for fatigue or foul trouble, Damian Lillard has to go for fatigue or foul trouble. If he's already coming off of the bench, it's easier to stagger those moments where we
Mm.
tend to lose leads, right? We still do not have a balanced team as far as scoring off of the bench. We do have a better team as far as defense. I love Pat Beverly coming back into it. I'm just saying it's something for consideration. Ultimately, if it were up to me, because I think there's more, it's looked at negatively when you tell something like that, and I would try and figure out a way to stagger his minutes. Because what I don't want is to crush his confidence. He's needed,
Right.
right? And if he could look at that in a healthy way, then I wouldn't have a problem bringing him off the bench for all the things that I just stated. It's not a demotion. We need scoring off the bench. The other guys aren't able to consistently do it. but I just don't know anyone who, other than Ginobili, who
Mm-hmm.
would be healthy, or Dwayne Wade at one point in time, right? Who would be okay with coming off the bench and whose ego is healthy enough that I wouldn't look at it as a demotion. Does any of that make sense? You know what
No,
I
we
mean?
follow
Like,
you. No, I follow you. I follow you. I'm gonna let
right?
Kale go
It's
ahead
just
and respond to that when you get done with your
just a different
statement. Then the
perspective.
Chitty. Salute to Mr. Smith as per usual. This the great content. Appreciate you, Mr. Smith. Go ahead, Kale. What you got to say about what Mr. Smith said? Then I'm gonna have you get in some of that, Chitty.
I pretty much, like I said, I've been beating that drum for a little minute now about Chris coming off the bench, to help with bench
Scoring.
scoring. 'Cause like Mr. Smith said, we don't have a consistent bench scorer coming off the bench. So, like I had said before, me personally, if I was Doc, I would have went ahead and after All Star break, I would have been looking more to playing the young Bucks right now. In my opinion, I feel like Marjan and Ajax or AJ Green. Some people will prefer him, but in my opinion, Marjan and Ajax because they're 6'6", 6'7". They can play the 2 and 3 and sit up here and defend. And that way, if you start, let's say you started Ajax at the 2 and Marjan at the 3, coming from All Star break, that gives Dame and Giannis full like full reign. They got full reign anyway, but that gives them full reign to like
Do what
we're
they
gonna get
do.
our shots. Giannis get his shots. Dame get his shots. Marjan, you and Ajax, y'all get in where y'all fit in. Basically, you're just here for just defense and energy. And then Brooke, you get in where you fit in. You hit your open threes. You know what I'm saying? Block your shots. Do what you do. And then off the bench, we would have Pat Bev, Chris, um, Malik Beasley, that be especially with Malik and Chris and Bobby, that be your scoring off the bench. Because like Bronte said earlier, who you got coming off the bench that's gonna really score? Who you got coming off the bench that's gonna really defend? Like Jay Crowder can defend, but he's not what he was when he was a
Right.
younger guy.
Facts. That's a
So
fact.
to me personally, that right there would help both your point of attack defense and your bench scoring. But like you said, I understand you coming from 30 million. That's too much money to be sitting on the bench. But whether you sit up here and you start Chris and you stagger his minutes, he's the first one to come out for a break. Or if you let him come off the bench and he's the first man off the bench when Dame needs a break or Giannis needs a break to come
Right.
pick up for that bench scoring. Either way, his minutes are still staggered. He's still getting 30 minutes a night. He's
That's true.
still going to close out games for you. So if he's, in my opinion, if he's still getting 30 minutes a night and he's still closing out games, why would it really matter whether he starts or not? He's still doing the same thing. His minutes is still staggered the same. He's either just going to take an early break or he's going to be the first one off the bench. So, but that's just my 2 cents. I'm pretty sure that Doc is probably going to start him when he comes back, or he might, bring him off the bench for that first couple of games. He might bring him off the bench to let him get his legs underneath him. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I would let him come off the bench, be that consistent scorer off the bench. I'd also bring Malik off the bench to help
Hmm.
Bobby with that bench scoring.
Interesting.
Because what's
Okay.
the likelihood that all three of them not going to be hitting on the same night? Like it could happen, but what's the likelihood that all three of them going to be bricking? Two of them might
Right.
be bricking, but one of them going to be hitting, in
That's
my
a fact.
opinion. But
That's a fact.
but yeah, but Chitty, I'll go ahead and pass it off to you, man. See what you got to say about it.
Go ahead, Chitty.
Man, I just want to say, yes, I just want to say this real quick. I still think that what we've seen from Middleton is kind of like what we've seen from a Clintopsy at Golden State Warriors. You see, Klay Thompson is coming off the bench and the Warriors are winning now. Who knew that that was what they needed? You see,
Oh, Chitty, hold on, I got to give you a
Middleton's
pro. Hey, Chitty
mentality.
is spitting. He deserves a few likes for that one. Chitty, right there, that was a damning statement right there to everything we was. Go ahead, Chitty. You cooked right there off the rip. Go
See,
ahead, Chitty.
Middleton's mentality is not there for a championship. I don't care what we're saying. You're saying that we need a Middleton to win a championship. But then again, the Suns went to the finals with a Jay Crowder. Like, are we kind of like comparing? What I'm saying is that Middleton coming off the bench, we will still, if we're going to win a championship, we will still win a championship with him coming off the bench. It's not like he's not playing or he's not contributing. But then again, we know that the changes we need is not him starting games. Because again, our pace is always slower because Middleton is slow, Brook Lopez is slow, Beasley is slow, Dame and Giannis is actually the fast players we have. But with Jay Crowder in that lineup as our starting five, we've got at least a chance, both in defense and then a bit of fast pace. You understand? And that's also engineers or prompts Giannis and what's his name and Dame to keep going because we need a Brook Lopez to be a bit slow so that he can fall back in defense. You understand? And then he can open up for actually like the dunks and the 3 points that he shoots. But I don't think that having a Middleton in the starting lineup because we're paying $30+ million is right currently. The Middleton needs to do right by the Bucks organization. I don't get where all these NBA analysts would actually be hamping down on a player like Giannis. But then a player like Middleton, who we've always wanted to count on for the last 2 seasons now that will not be making the championship or finals in the playoffs, has not been contributing because of based on he comes up with flimsy excuses like injuries. And again, when we count on him during this season, he came up with another flimsy excuse. The same injury that him and Dame had, Dame came up after two games, but you're still not. He didn't show up in the team for the 10 games that we
He'll be
played.
back in 1 to
He didn't
2
show
weeks
up.
from now. Chitty, just so you know, he'll be back in 1 to 2 weeks.
1 to 2 weeks for ankle injury that Dame also had. That's what we're saying. Mentality. It's not about the injury now, it's
But
about the mentality.
Hold on, Chitty. Let me let Mr. Smith retort to that. Nothing you said was
what
actually wrong on the surface. It's just a very abrasive way of looking at it, which I know you know that's true, Chitty. But nothing you said was actually wrong. Well, go ahead, Mr. Smith.
I don't think I don't think the argument is completely ludicrous at face value,
Right.
right? Because there is value in bringing him off the bench. I just think, but firstly, right, I think it does have to be acknowledged that not all ankle injuries are created equal, right?
Yeah, true.
And then if there's previous injury history to that particular ankle, it can be worse, right? You know, there are times when you can have someone who rolls an ankle and they're out for a week. There are other times when you can have a person who rolls their ankle, they may be out half the season. It just depends on. There are a lot of extenuating factors, right? So I don't know that we could do an apples to apples comparison and say just because he rolled his ankle that he should come back at the same amount of time as the other person did. That is not as accurate, I think, or as reasonable as we can be, right? But I think there's a lot of stuff that can be said about that. I think your point about Klay Thompson coming off of the bench is actually an outstanding point. But again, it's
What up,
also
Case?
the mindset of the player itself, right? I think staggering minutes so that you lead the second unit can be done from a starter point of view, or it can be done better from a bench point of view, right? Because you have to work less hard to stagger those minutes if he's already coming off the bench. That would be my concern, because I don't think that you can make a reasonable argument to say that he's not one of the best five. So if the starters were just about the best five guys on the court, especially in today's basketball where we're playing positionless basketball, where it matters less what position you play unless you're the big guy. You know what I mean? Obviously, Brook Lopez can't go out and play point guard, right? But from 1 through 4, it's becoming less and less about position and more about getting your best five out on the court. He's certainly one of our best five, right?
No, I
But
agree.
are we top heavy now because of that? That would be my concern. right? Because when you go to the bench, again, those guys cannot easily score. There's a lot of hustle and effort from them. So of that, I'm happy. But as far as being able to score when the other team is putting up excellent defense, case in point, I did not come on the other night when we beat Minnesota, which was one of my favorite wins, right? I know you all remember the play. I think it was a tap out. It came off of a missed free throw. Damian gets the ball. He pump fakes the three. The guy sails right by him. He turns around, barely looks at the rim, and shoots the ball. And it didn't even touch the rim. Like, it went. You remember that three that he shot?
Mm-hmm.
That's something a starter does, right? You know what I mean? That's what you do when you create your own offense. It's just that above the level offense, no one else on the bench is doing that for us, right? And so if we don't have that kind of talent coming off of the bench, and other guys getting in foul trouble and whatnot, there is a very real possibility that we get 5 guys on the floor who can't score. You know what I mean? And whatever lead you just built up is rapidly diminishing right in front of you. And this is when the fans are cursing at the TV. This is when people are losing their minds and whatnot, because they just can't get a score, right? And so at that point, you're just treading water, and you're just hoping, please stop the bleeding until we can get our starters back in the game, right? Ultimately, like I said, I don't know that Chris Middleton has a healthy enough ego to come off of the bench
Right.
for all of the reasons. So I don't know that I could sell that to him, knowing that he's still one of our best 5, right? I could say all the things. I could say, look, there's less bandwidth when you're off the court, right? We're finally starting to see Damian flourish consistently, because he's had good games before, but he's now finally starting to. You on the court, does that? Does it help or does it hurt? I agree with Pronte. He's never hurt the team in total. But when there's only one ball, right? You know what I mean? And so what I do love about Chris and Damian is that both of them are very good playing off of the ball, right? As in, I don't need to have the ball. They're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Unselfish. But I want Damian to be more selfish. You know what I mean? That's just me as a fan. I want him to be more assertive. I want him to be more aggressive. I know Chris gets tired very quick. I'm going to get the ball and I'm going to score. If you guys are down there doing goofball stuff, does that take away from Damian? I don't know. I think it's debatable. I'm still leaning on the side of Chris starting, but I don't think it's completely crazy at face value. That's what I'm saying.
Let me propose a question then. What should be our closing lineup, or like our quote unquote death lineup? I'm gonna let you answer first, Kev. I think that's a good question. So I'm gonna let you go first, Kev. Pronte to spin the block to Mr. Smith. Go ahead, Kev. What would be your Bucks closing lineup to close out a game?
What would be my closing lineup? My closing lineup, if I was the coach and if, what I'm saying, I had the lineup how I wanted it, it would be Dame, probably Dame, Ajax, Chris, and probably Jay at the 4, and then Giannis at the 5.
Interesting.
That's what I would close. But like I said, that's me, because I would have sat up there and got the young Bucks more rotation minutes. So like Ajax and then would be ready for that. But like if like going like right now, like with what we got right now, my closing lineup will probably be like Dame, Chris,
Giannis.
yeah, Dame, Chris, Giannis, most definitely. Probably still will have Jay in there, and I don't know. I don't want to have Bobby in there for defensive reasons,
Right.
but like I don't want to have Pat in there either. But if I had to pick between the two, I probably would have Bobby in there. It'll probably be
Also, you
Bobby,
wouldn't
Giannis.
have Brooke Lopez in there at all. You
No,
taking out Brooke and put by okay.
situationally, that depends. Like
Okay.
if we're playing non-traditional bigs, like playing against non-traditional bigs, as far as like being in the paint. Nah,
Right.
I can't have Brook in there.
That's fair.
I
That's
Cause
fair. No, that's fair.
they're gonna stretch him out, and he's gonna be the mismatch. Now, like if we played somebody like if we were playing Minnesota in the finals, right,
Mm-hmm.
with Rudy Gobert out there, yeah, Brook would be closing. But like if we're
Right.
playing, let's say we're playing Boston in the postseason or something like that, or
You and
Joel,
Bobby. Yeah.
yeah, I probably will put Bobby out there just because he can move better. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking more so to Giannis to try to handle that
Okay.
defensively.
No, that's fair. All right, Pronte, what about
Yeah.
you?
Going with the starting lineup. How can you not? The top rated starting lineup in the league.
Okay.
You know, the
Okay.
biggest net rating in the
Okay.
league. How you gonna not go with the starting lineup? Defensively and offensively, that net rating like plus 13, 14. So how you gonna say, oh, because when it comes down to it, they can get some defense. They can step up and defend,
Right.
and they can score. You know, there's very who you gonna sag off of in that lineup? Beasley, Brook
Right.
Lopez, Chris Middleton. Yeah, I mean, who you sagging off of? You know, so when you try to build a wall, when Giannis coming downhill, he got nothing but shooters to pass it to, and all of them defend. Brook Lopez defends at the rim because Middleton is a great situational defender, especially when he has his legs under him. And then the way after that Dame and Beasley been showing lately, you know, you can
Mm-hmm.
live with that. You know, they communicating. Middleton has high basketball IQ. You know, basketball IQ on defensive end. So does Brook Lopez. And we talking about like the end of the game. We probably talking about the playoffs, right? That's all I
Right.
see is a playoff. So I'm going with the starting lineup for sure because ain't no way I'm
I'm not
taking
mad at that.
because
Yeah.
you're gonna
I,
say because if I drive and you know what's gonna happen, Giannis gonna drive or Dame, right? And they're gonna try to double off of that. Who you gonna have? Who you gonna pass to Ajax? That's not gonna work in the playoffs. That's not working in the
yeah, because
playoffs.
you got Chris, and you got Jay out there. You talking about my lineup? Chris and Jay out there as
But
well.
you know where the help is gonna come off Ajax because he's a non-shooter automatically. They're gonna live with Ajax beating you. And do you trust Ajax to beat you in a situational? No, I don't personally. The way Beasley's been shooting, I trust Beasley to knock down that jumper.
Right.
I trust Middleton to knock down that jumper. I trust Dane to make a play or knock down the jumper. So and Brook Lopez. So that's offensively and defensively. Brook just blocked 5 shots. They play
Right.
Yeah,
small
that's
ball and they got nothing. They
yeah,
got
that
nothing
that's
with.
cool. That's cool with
They
what I'm
got nothing
saying.
with that.
Yeah,
That was. I
in
mean,
the
we
paint.
got to stop thinking about how the Bucks look with Adrian Griffin. You see what I'm saying?
No,
They
I'm
don't even
saying
look
like
like the same
even
team with Doc Rivers. They don't look nothing the
no,
same. Right?
I'm saying even with Doc though. So like, okay, I got what you're saying from offensive standpoint. So defensively, right in the playoffs, we're playing Boston. They got lineup of Drew, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Porzingis, and Derek White. So Brook is getting pulled out of the paint to guard
I agree with that.
That's good.
Porzingis for the 3-point line. So now, yeah, Giannis got locked down the paint, and they all 5 of those guys can shoot.
So
So
who
like
you
that,
going with?
huh?
Who you going with? You going? I mean, and
No,
that's a
I'm
valid
asking.
point. That's a valid point.
I'm
That's a
asking.
valid point. Because I know they're gonna try to they're gonna come in and drop defense. But
Mm-hmm.
what I saw out of the effort of Brook today, Brook closed out today. He closed out to the three today. They helped defense was on point today.
It
You know what
was.
I mean? Brook got out there. They closed the lane down with other players. The guards stepped in there and slowed the guards down. If they can do
That's
that
How
fair.
about that?
consistently, Brook is no longer a liability. So in that situation, and is Bobby even more or less a liability in that situation? You know what I mean? Like Bobby's not gonna. He's gonna do the same thing. Brook. He's gonna give you less than Brook defensively. Um, who you gonna put in Crowder? I mean, maybe that might
Yep, that,
maybe,
that
but
that's
the
what
most
they might would
sure
do. They
thing
might
is
would
Giannis
put Jay
in the
in
starting
there.
lineup. Huh? That's what I'm saying. You gonna put
I
Okay.
Jay
said,
in
yeah,
there?
they might would put Jay in there. They might put Jay in there.
Well, 1 second,
Yeah.
y'all.
So
Just
I
wanted to
mean,
mention this
I'm
comment.
going with
Just
the starting lineup.
one
I can
one
see what
second,
you're saying.
Pronte.
Jay,
Do
if
y'all
Brook
see that in
Lopez is
the?
getting
Do y'all
cooked,
see that in the
Jay,
chat right here?
I get that.
It said James Woods. Shout out to you, James Woods. Hold on, let me put this
I
back
didn't.
in
I
here.
didn't catch it.
Seven best
I
He
didn't
said
catch
defenses
it.
over?
it said seventh best defenses. Doc took over. That's a huge swing, bro. That is a huge
Yeah,
swing from being 24th to 7th. and it's
And
over
you
a
know what?
decent amount of games. That is impressive. Go ahead,
Amber,
Pronte, and I'm gonna have
I
you
see them top.
tap
I
in,
see them
Mr.
top.
Smith.
They look like a top. When I would just watch these couple games and I watch the other teams play, they look top five. If they
Mm-hmm.
play in the
It
games
forced
that
a
I've
lot
seen,
of
they
turn.
look top five defense, right, with Doc. So, and Doc's been saying it's all about their conditioning. Their conditioning. He keeps saying conditioning, conditioning. Their
Mm-hmm.
conditioning. They got to condition themselves to play both ends. They didn't have proper conditioning. So
So
we're
what is
just
that
trying to get the
saying
Facts.
about our
conditioning,
coach?
which makes a lot of
We've
sense
been
because they was taking plays off and the conditioning was bad. It's like the players are tired, but once they get used to it, they're gonna be fine. But I'm gonna go with the starting lineup. But I do see what SoCal's talking about because if Brook is getting cooked, you gotta put Crowder in. I don't know if I can go, but then your rebounding is gonna suffer a little bit. But you just gonna have to fight for those rebounds. You know what I mean? But because they're gonna put him and then they're gonna try to ISO him with everybody. They'll try to ISO him with everybody just about. So we'll see. We'll see in the playoffs, but only certain teams can do that and
That's a
really be
fact.
effective. So I'm a pass it to Smith.
Mr.
That's all I got.
Smith, tell us how you feel about that. I felt that was a kind of
I would
interesting
say
question.
that's a hard argument to go against. If we have the best plus minus ratio with the starters, then far more often than not, I'm probably going to go with the starters. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's still going to be situational. There are some times where I would go with a different lineup, and it would depend on what's happening in the game, right? So we're playing a team that's running us off the court because they're just way faster than us. Then I may not be, and we're losing because of that. And so the closing minutes of the game, we need to come back in the game. Then I may have to sit Brook and play Giannis at the 5. Bobby goes to the 4, and then I have my other 3 in there, Chris, Dame, and Beasley. You know what I mean? To go with a more up-tempo game to try and get back in the game, right? If I'm trying to secure the lead, I have the lead, then I'm probably going to stay with my starters. You know what I mean? Because we're better defensively at that point. You know, it depends on the situation, but far more often than not, I'm probably going to go with the guys that I look at as my starters. I have seen sometimes when we have gone smaller and it's helped. Believe it or not, and I know this chat and myself as well, we've been ruthless when Pat, where he's concerned, but I've seen Pat close games out and do well
Mm-hmm.
because he plays better defense in the closing moment. So I guess it just depends. I don't know that it is one shoehorn answer, right? It depends. There's certain guys that are not coming out off the floor. I don't care what the story is, and that would be Chris, Dame, and Giannis. And then after that, it would be situational. More often than not, it's probably the starters. But if I need Pat to get better with his confidence because whether we like it or not, this is who Doc is going with, right? The
Yep.
previous regimes did not do, I think, a good enough job at getting the bench guys up to the standard that they need to be. Like, not the
Mm.
bench guys, the younger guys, right? So now it's to the point where I was team Ajax. You guys know it. If you just
Mm-hmm.
rewind some of these chats, Ajax was the man. He's not ready. He's not ready for this part of the season. You know what I mean? I still believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
But this is when it's gotten real now. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, the development stage of the season, in my opinion, is over. Now we need to start positioning ourselves and really getting the guys who are going to be in that rotation up to snuff. This is exactly what Pronte was saying. That's what we were saying. The conditioning was poor. We all saw it. We all saw it. They look. If the Bucks were playing the Hornets, they did not go out to beat them by 50 points the way that we felt. They looked at it like, oh, we get to play at
Rest.
walking pace. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because
Right.
they were so ready to not play hard. They did not want to play. They didn't want any part of that part of basketball, right? They were just trying to put it in cruise control. Cruise control is over. You have a little over 20 games left. And then whatever seed you have, that's going to determine your
Yep.
your level of comfort in the playoffs. Right now, I know that we can win on the road, but you don't want to have to keep doing that every single round. Like, so
Right.
we need to go in and really kind of put it to teams. So it's Ajax. No, you can't get on the court. You're just not going to get on the court. Marjan has not been developed, and he hasn't done a good job developing himself. Like there are times when Marjan is just asleep at the wheel on the court,
Well,
and I
yep.
can't keep using youth as an excuse. He has got to figure some things out, man. And it's like remedial learning now. Like, you know what I mean? And I definitely don't want to bash. That's bad, right? I don't want to put it like that, right? But he definitely needs a lot more time in the film
Yeah.
room. There's just like there are film room errors that he makes. I'm not gonna get on and bash him or whatever. It's just he's a young guy, needs more development, right? But I think you know who your core 8 guys are, 9 guys are for sure. And I just think it's situational. You know, you're playing a big team like the Sixers, then Brook has to be on the court. You can't go small
Correct.
against him because Embiid is just going to abuse. I love Giannis. Embiid he's not going to, Giannis is not going to regularly stop Joel if Joel starts putting his body
No, I
right,
agree.
right? Same thing with the Cavaliers. They're a big, long team, right? The Knicks are becoming big and long, right?
Right.
I think that if the Celtics can be beaten because they're out there looking like juggernauts, it would be in the post. You're going to have to beat them in the post. So Brook would be that guy, right? If they were a faster team like the Pacers, then I may need pace, right? Because Brook can get run around fairly
Right.
easily. Like, you know what I mean? I think Doc is doing a better job, a much better job at putting our guys in position. So we are very rarely out of position. We're not nearly as bad as we used to be. Bro, we were so bad in the beginning of the season as far as being out of position.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? And now we got guys who I love it. I love it. It's not just Pat Beverly. I love it. Our backcourt, we're doing way better at staying in front of our guys. Beasley, I said this to Mr. Cool the other day. Beasley is so much better at staying
Yes.
in front of his man. He's not like a revelation on defense, but he's just so much better on defense. He's so much better on defense. I can't get enough of that. Dame had a great game on defense today. I don't know if anyone caught that or
Oh
anyone,
no, we mentioned that
is
earlier. That's the first thing we mentioned. Like they both
oh
playing
yeah,
like they, especially Beasley playing like his position is on the line. Beasley's playing defense. Like if he don't play defense, he's going to have to get put on a bench. That's the way he's playing. Like
it's
in my
done.
opinion.
Yeah.
Detroit is
Hey,
calling,
look,
right?
excuse me,
So I
excuse me
mean,
real quick, Mr. Smith. Excuse me real quick. Hey,
Go
I
ahead,
gotta
Phil.
tap out real quick. I'm gonna try to get
Okay.
back in with y'all though.
Okay. Appreciate you, bro. All right.
All
salute,
right.
bro.
Let me switch this up a
So
little
yeah,
bit,
that's
gentlemen.
just what I think. I think it's situational, but more often than not, I agree with Ponte. I mean, the stats can't, they speak for themselves. If it's the best plus minus that you have in the, there are other things that account for that, right? Mind you, you know what I mean? Like the beginning of the game is also going to be heavily factored in. You know what I mean? But I definitely would go with those 3 guys, and then after that, we'll see what the situation is, right? So.
No, I agree with you. I'm just happy we head in the right direction, gentlemen. Like you can just see the growth, the team maturing as a unit. You could just see they're believing in the system now. Whatever Doc's and also I like to say I actually see offensive sets now. I've seen offensive sets. I've seen the Bucks run actual plays. I watched them. I was like, damn, they running plays. I saw them switching up. I saw them go to a zone temporarily when they was hitting a couple threes. Like I saw some things where I'm like, he's making in-game adjustments. Like I
So,
saw Doc.
here's
I'm not saying it's all Doc. It might be his staff, but they're figuring things out in as the game is happening.
well, him as the figurehead for sure. I mean, he's the coach. So we're gonna say Doc, but enter Doc and his coaching staff. That's what we
Right.
really mean when we say, right? But I'll just ask you this, right? Because I respect obviously you guys' opinion when it comes to basketball strategy, and I'm not downplaying anything that we're doing because we're winning and we look a lot better. But are you seeing anything that looks like super cutting edge? Like, why I've never seen this concept running basketball before. Like, why? Probably not, right?
It's
So
execution.
with and I'm not going to say simple basketball because none of it is simple, but it's just classic basketball, right? We look night and day better with just classic basketball. The point I'm trying to make is how far off in the woods were we with the previous coach that with this same group of people, we looked terrible. That all we had to do is go back to classic. This is not like the Golden State Warriors, right? The year that Andrew Wiggins went there, when everyone was like running and trying to get like their notepad, like, I've never even seen this before. What are they doing? Like, this is not that. Like, you know what I mean? This is not like the San Antonio Spurs, like the year that they beat the Heat in the finals. Remember that offense that they were running, and the Heat were just like, I don't know what to do, right? You know what I mean? Where they had all that post pass. We're not seeing that, and I'm not knocking the Bucks for that. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that we're playing good old-fashioned basketball, right? You know what I mean? And it's working. So we were that bad that just regular basketball with the guys that we have, and we're right back to being the seventh best defense in the league,
7
one
over
of the
the
best
last 10
offenses
games.
in the league,
7.
just playing regular basketball. That's my. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I
No,
feel
I
like,
completely agree with you.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, I think it's obvious, right, that they're playing better, more basketball that everybody understands and can see is better. It's not fancy, like you said. It's nothing that's new and cutting edge, but it's something that players understand. And the thing about it is, they were winning a lot of games playing stupid basketball. It's stupid strategy. You see what I'm saying? Like that tells you how much talent they really had. They had all that
Right.
talent that they
play
was doing with
stupid
stupid
basketball. They're still
strategy
winning
and
games.
stupid situational basketball, and they were still top 2, top 3 in the league. So just now, when
Yeah.
you see, it makes you excited to where this team is going to be come the end of March when they battle tested, more offensive chemistry is developed, more defensive chemistry is developed. They might actually look like some juggernauts.
Right.
If they stay healthy. You know what I mean? And we talking about Middleton and him getting injured. Well, I'm gonna keep saying this. Middleton was not the reason we lost to Miami. And people forget in the playoffs, Middleton was the
No.
only
Yeah.
one. He was cooking Miami. They
Yeah,
didn't
he was
Yes.
averaging
defend
about
him.
24 a game. About 24 a game, if I,
Yeah,
Agreed.
I recall.
he was not the reason. He didn't turn the ball over at the end of the game. He didn't do none of that.
Agreed. I said the same.
Another one of our players got injured, and that played a role in that.
Mm-hmm.
And Drew Holiday did his usual performance on the offensive end. This time he didn't do
I
his
knew that
usual
shot.
performance on the defensive end, and that's why we lost because he didn't. He wasn't that defensive juggernaut. He didn't slow down Jimmy Butler, but he was like 3 for 20 on the offensive end. But that's okay. That's Drew Holiday. He gonna give you some on defense, but he didn't do that in the Miami series. Chris Middleton was fine in the Miami series. I didn't see nothing wrong with what he did in Miami.
Right.
He actually saved the team. He made him look kind of respectable. So, we talking about Middleton not closing. Middleton is a closer. What are we talking about? Middleton is a closer. Clearly,
No, he's
clearly the closer.
definitely close.
He's definitely, I'll give
Uh,
him that. Yeah.
No, he's
Middleton is a
definitely
closer.
closing it. Like I said, I think there's an argument to who you open up the game with, right? But he's definitely close. There's no question he's
Yeah.
closing, right? Because
And then
even if
as far as the starting spot, like you said, the thing about taking a starter out of the starting lineup is you got to deal with chemistry again. You got to deal with egos and fragile egos. You don't have to deal with that with Jay Crowder. You know what I mean? Because Jay Crowder's used to playing a role off the bench, and coming in and doing his thing. But with Middleton, that's all new territory for him. When the last time Middleton really had a solidified role off the bench? What, his first year in the league? Second year in the league? I mean, that's been a long time for him. So you're going to have to,
last year, last
huh?
year when he was coming back from injury, right? When we've
Mm-hmm.
been on that
I'm talking
16
about
game winning streak.
but temporary though.
You mean
But
like
a
regularly?
permanent, like regularly, that's never
Yeah.
happened. So he's not gonna
Right.
be. He's not gonna. Do you want another disgruntled player when you just starting to get? Do
Facts,
you want
Mr.
to deal
Cool.
with that? I don't think you want to deal with it. I think it's easier
Right.
from a chemistry standpoint to bring Crowder off the bench, pull Middleton out the first 3 minutes, and then put him in with the reserves when they go out, when Dame or Giannis
Yeah.
go out, and stagger it that way, because then you don't have to worry about all that I should be starting. You know what I mean? And like I
I
said,
agree.
Middleton playing bad, all you do is put him on the bench and bring Crowder in. It's really simple. Because bench
I
scoring,
agree.
that's not an elephant in the room in the playoffs. Like if you got, it's really about your stars being able to facilitate with the bench. You know, like you don't want your whole bench in. You know, that's a recipe for disaster going in the playoffs. Just bringing a whole starting another five in and doing that. But I'm just excited about where this goes. But there's teams like, how do you think we match up with Indiana now? How do you think we match up? That would be interesting to see to play my Indiana with Doc as a coach. You know, versus
I don't.
Adrian Griffin.
I don't think the Pacers. No, I'm not. I'm not. They're not slouches, right? I don't want to be an arrogant fan and be like, "Oh, them guys, please," right? They're not. They're a tough team, and I think the Pacers would be tough against us because of their namesake, their pace, right? That's what gave us trouble, is that they just run, right? When they were beating us, it was they would get the ball, and before we even set our defense up, they were at the other end of the court. I think that if we have people who are in better positions and we quickly got back and set up the shell of our offense, then the only person that I'm, kind of respecting in that is Halliburton, because Halliburton can shoot from wherever, right?
Right.
But I'm not afraid of them against our set defense. You know what I mean? I don't
Right.
honestly think they win more than 2 games.
This
I
is a
know what the
different Bucks
season
team.
series, but
This would be a different Bucks team that they would be facing. I think it would be
I
much
think
different.
oh, for sure. I
And
just I
what
think
about
the teams that are going to give us trouble are the teams who always give us trouble, right?
that's
Which
the same
are
Miami
Miami
and the Celtics?
and Boston, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So to me, I think it's debatable at this point. I think we're getting better. I like the addition of Damian. I really like his early game aggression. If he plays like this, then yes, I feel more confident against a juggernaut team like the Celtics. I know that they are the enemy, but they are a juggernaut team, right? The Heat are not a juggernaut team, but the Heat just punch everybody in the mouth, and
Right.
they're so good at doing it. And the Bucks have not convincingly done a good job at stopping Bam Adebayo when we played it. Like, you know what I mean? And it's frustrating. Like, you know what I mean? And so you add him, Jimmy Butler channels Kobe Bryant anytime the playoffs start, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's always the same thing. Like, where's this Jimmy Butler all year round? Like, you know what I mean? And he loves to do it against us. Well, at least he loves to do it against us when we had Drew on him, right? When we had Giannis on him, could
It
not
wasn't
do
the
that,
same.
right? Brain blown, Bud, wherever you are. Brain blown. If you just put Giannis on, I don't want to revisit that. That's going to make me
I mean,
mad.
I think with Miami is a respect thing. Like, it's respect your opponent type of thing. Because Miami gonna bring a whole bunch of people you don't even know their names. You see
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? But they're gonna be playing like starters and all stars. And if you like an arrogant team, they gonna give it to you. Cause they gonna be playing at optimum peak level. Never ever played this good in their life, like a Highsmith. Like, who is that guy? He gonna hit 5 threes out of
Right.
nowhere. But if you respect your opponents like the Bucks do against the Nuggets, against the Suns, and treat them positions like that, and really lock in on them, they have problems because they can't score against real focused defense on targeted players. So
Mm.
I think they're like advantages. They don't have names, you know. And you can't just say I'm gonna stop him because you don't even know who he is.
They
You
like
don't
the
know what he
Packers
does.
offense. You know what they like? They like the Packers offense. They got all these different players that are solid, but you can't hone in on one person, so they all kind of kill you with slow. The cut it's like that cutted thing of death by 1,000 cuts. It's just
Yeah,
See,
all these
I'm with
randoms just doing they one
but they're
two.
not
You know what
as
I'm saying?
talented. The thing is, they're not really as talented. The thing is that you just take a break, take off because you can't. There's no Devontae Adams to focus on. So you like this dude. This dude can't
I
make
see
a.
what you're
This dude can't make a shot. That's what you're gonna say. This dude can't make a shot, and he makes it. You're like, dang, he made it. He gonna miss the next one. Then he makes the next one, and then all of a
Hold
sudden
on,
they
hold on,
beat you.
hold on 1 second,
But
Pronto. Let me
go
just
ahead.
get Hoyt Street super chat. Hey, Hoyt Street, appreciate the 499 super chat. You see the conditioning getting better. That was basically our problem. Hold on 1 second. Let me get your whole super chat. Uh, that was basically our problem, getting gas from playing hard on both ends. Yeah, that's why I guess the conditioning is all that we're hearing right now for that very point. Salute to you, Hoyt Street E. Appreciate you. But it's getting kind of late over here, y'all. I'm gonna tap out here in a minute, but let me let Daniel Orton get his comment off here. Bleacher Report boss, real quick. He had to tap back in. You see, we got Mr. Smith. You see, we got Pronte. You know,
I say,
two legends in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Go
So,
ahead, Bleach
I,
Report boss. Go ahead.
oh man, before everything goes on tonight, man, great live tonight. Great live. Everybody's getting good points. You know, I've been
Salute.
debating on Beast Report. Everybody's pretty much saying, I asked that question you guys were asking, saying if Middleton should be starting up. Most of them are saying if he can play, he can start. Might as well, he should start. You know, they're saying Middleton still is a good scorer. I understand everybody's point, you know, because we don't have consistent score off the bench besides
Respect, Oliver.
Portis. But at the same time, you know, long as we can get their minutes on, like it's just about who minutes going to be on and how they're going to move the offense when it comes. But I am so excited how this team been playing the last couple of games. But I just think that big win versus Minnesota was big too. It was a huge win after they just did the debacle versus Memphis. But like you said, Mr. Smith, and I just don't want the Bucks to do this. I don't want them to have good games like this and then they start lose to the Hornets. You know, they gotta be consistent.
right,
We're not
They
losing.
gotta
right,
be,
Hey,
and
after
and it
All-Star
has
break,
to
this
be
is a
acknowledged.
new team. We're a new team.
yeah.
And it
You
has to be
gotta start
acknowledged
putting
that
heads
we've
in
had
feet.
that problem before. So I need these guys to be mature professionals, man. You got good vibes going. Don't fall back into bad
Thank
habits.
you.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that was a
Thank you.
bad habit. Coach Smith,
hmm
I thought it was a bad habit to take
So
games off like
now
they
we'll know
was.
though. We'll know. We'll know soon enough. I got faith in
But I
them
think
this
Giannis
time though.
said it too. Like he was saying, like it's time to shut up talking and start playing. You know, that's what he
It's
said
almost
after the All-Star game. I'm talking too much. It's time to put it on the court. You know, so
hmm
yeah,
we
exactly.
gonna see if
I
they
want them to
start
be
doing
like Marshawn Lynch. I'm all about that action. I mean, no more talking, no more putting anything out there. Just
Get
give
him.
my
Get him.
my shirt, give my stuff, and I'm gonna be ready to go. I'm all about the action, boss. Let's go. You know, let's get forward.
We gonna end it right there.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Mrs. Smith, appreciate you tapping back in. I hope the studying for the test is going well. Pronte, you know we always appreciate the content and you tapping in. Bleach Report boss, you already know how we do. Hey, and Chitty, you was in your bag today. You was wilding a little bit on Middleton, but you were definitely in your bag today. They gonna get at you in the comment section about how you was going in on Middleton. You had
Always,
some
always will.
valid points, but then you just went all the way. You couldn't just kind of toe the line.
He
You just,
tried.
he went all the
City
way.
don't like Middleton, boy.
You
That's a
know,
He don't like him.
salute
he
to
don't
Chitty,
mess with
salute
Middleton.
to the chat. Right, appreciate Kel tapping in too. Kel ain't tapped in. When I be telling y'all this is the best Bucks chat on YouTube, how am I lying? Look at the
Best.
people that tap in. Just the extension of knowledge in this chat from like I said, the queens of the chat to everybody just randomly tapping in. It's no fools in this chat. When I say this is the number one Bucks podcast, I got receipts on why I would say that. I got receipts on why I say this is the best YouTube chat. Period. Period. Just the knowledge, the wealth of knowledge from y'all, man. Salute. Salute, Bucks Nation. Hey, we coming. The storm is coming, y'all. I don't got my sound effects and all that. I don't even know if y'all care, but hey, I'll be hitting
I
the
know.
thunder right now because the storm is coming. It ain't hit land yet, but they see it. You know when you see it in the
Sure.
ocean, you're like, damn, it's coming. Man, it's coming. But we got some time. No, y'all don't got no time. It's faster. It's coming in faster than you think. And I think the Bucks is about to show the NBA who we really are. They get nervous. That's why they try. They like, we ignore it. It'll go away. That's the media's mentality. I want y'all to understand. We don't talk about Giannis. He won't. We don't have to worry about the MVP.
They
If we
were
don't,
worse than ignoring.
yeah, they want us to
They,
go
they're trying
away.
to like, they're like, oh, well, they should have been like this. They should have been playing like this. We
No. We
expect them
want
to
that
play like
same
this.
smoke. No, what they trying to do is slowly get on the bus, but the doors are shut already. They running in the back like slow down, like nah, we out. It's
I don't
over with, y'all.
even
For
want it.
real,
We
for
deny
I
real.
don't
your
even want it.
deposit.
Remember Chris
We
Paul
didn't
had
reject your
time.
deposit.
Chris Paul had this thing one time where people were clapping for him or whatever. He looked at the crowd and was like, I don't even want it. I don't even want it. I don't even want it. Heard JJ Redick and all that.
Exactly.
I don't even want it. I don't want it.
All right, y'all. I
Yeah.
want this computer to shut down on y'all gentlemen. All right, fellas. Appreciate y'all tapping in,
Oh,
man. I'll see y'all
Peace.
soon,
hey,
man.
bro.
All right, I'll be live next
Yeah.
game. It should either be here in Amsterdam, one of the two. All right, y'all.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, we back, y'all. We coming. Don't we ain't taking our foot off the gas on nobody. Today we made an example out of the 76ers, y'all. I'm really happy with what we did today. We're looking like a changed team. I'm Amber. This is Amber's Logic, Milwaukee Bucks trades, rumors, and news. Live edition, global edition. You know what I'm saying? The global edition episode. We just got done discussing the Milwaukee Bucks win versus the Philadelphia 76ers, 119-98 in Philly. And again, I would like to cement and say this. This is the number one Bucks podcast on YouTube. This is your number one resource for Bucks information on YouTube. This is by far whoever I got money on. I got 1,000 on this being the best Bucks YouTube chat on YouTube. Period. I appreciate y'all, all the good commentary. I appreciate y'all hitting the thumbs up before y'all get out of here. We had 95. We get to 100. That'll be dope. And I'll see y'all on the next game. Let's go Bucks. What I told y'all, positive vibes, y'all. We got this. Positive vibes. Let's put them in the air, y'all. Positive vibes. Salute to all y'all. Appreciate all the good commentary, y'all. Man, we about to get on people's helmet. They don't even know. We about to get on people's helmet. The storm is coming, y'all. Let these mellow moves take you home. We about to put the whole NBA to sleep. Everybody getting put in the backwood. No games are being played. Did y'all see the efficiency? How surgical we got with 76ers and got them up out of there? You see that? We was just playing a little bit with Minnesota. They came back hitting wild threes, but they were never a threat. We put them away in the third quarter. We putting it together. Salute to Doc finding what he needed to do with this team and chemistry to get us going. Because now we coming, y'all. We coming, y'all. The old Bucks is that. I don't want to talk about the Bucks pre-All-Star game. I'm only focusing on the Bucks, what's happening now post-All-Star game. And what I've seen is beautiful basketball, good defense, and communication. And I wanted to keep it going. And I think when Chris Middleton comes back, he can only be an asset to this team. So let's wish Chris Middleton a speedy recovery so he come back and help this team, because he is a big shot maker. Let's not disrespect him. And we'll find the best way to utilize him, y'all. But we coming. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. For real. Salute. Go.